good. I don't want to. I'm
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Hey, Steve. Okay, Steve Keller on with us. So I want to issue. As I think I emailed everybody that correction. And again, Steve just left. I don't know what happened, but Steve was the one who pointed out the word alam and Elaim, obviously spelled the same, but alam is a strong person, or even sometimes described as a violent. Could be described as a violent. So that makes a lot more sense. The reason you would not be concerned when people see a strong man, taking your stuff. Even though you made a sale, right? That's why this is happening. People are going to assume because of the previous behaviors of this person that they did not actually make a fair and square deal with you, but they probably took it from you, and that's why there's an assumption that works in your favor in this one circumstance. Okay, so we made that correction. Thank you to Steve. And what we're going to do now is we're going to start up again once again at Sif Beis. Sif Beis, we read the Shulchan Aruch, the first couple lines of the Shulchan Aruch, but I want to go back and read the Mishnah Berurah's comments as well to everything that he said. Okay, I don't think we did, right? We didn't read the Mishnah Berurah's comment. We just read the Shulchan Aruch. We talked a little about the dry cleaning case, but okay. So here we go. So let's look at the Shulchan Aruch here at the beginning of Sif Beis. On my edition, it's labeled page 34 at the top right-hand corner. It's the third line on the page. Umutar litain begadav lekove seino Yehudi va'oros la'abdan. Be'er sha'uman ha'amabed umetakein ha'oros samucha chashecha. You're able to give on Friday afternoon, close to Shabbos. You can give the koves, the launderer, your clothing, the non-Jewish launderer, your clothing. Or the non-Jewish tanner, you can give him the leather skins to do whatever work was necessary. What is the condition? No, im katzatz lo damim. You have to have a deal that you'll get paid X for doing this job. Osha osa osam bitovas hana, or at the very least, the person is doing it to pay back a favor. Or to pay a favor or to pay back a favor, and then we'll make a distinction between paying a favor and paying back a favor. There is a difference between if the non-Jew on their own wants to do a favor in hopes of seemingly gaining a favor on you versus a payback for a favor that was already done to them. And the other condition here that's important is v'hushlo yomalo lasos v'shabbos. Condition number 2 is that they cannot be told explicitly to do this work on Shabbos. And also the work needs to be done in the non-Jew's home, the non-Jew's shop, whatever, not in your home, bottom line. The Mishnah Berurah, let's look at the Mishnah Berurah's comments, starting with Yud Beis. Sif Katan Yud Beis, Litain Begada. Okay. So the Mishnah Berurah here says the following about giving the clothing over to the non-Jew. V'uadin l'shari malachos. This is just an example, and this would apply to other malachos as well, not just kivisa. Right? Laundering is certainly under the category of prohibited activities on Shabbos. V'hatam dekevan dekatzav lo damim be'ad malachto. And the reason this is allowed is because since you've stipulated and fixed the price with the worker, with the person who's doing the malacha, the eino makpid alav sheyasenu techef, and I'm not particular that you get it done immediately. Tu ki ka'avid b'yom haShabbos. So from that point going forward, if the non-Jewish person decides to do the work on Shabbos, adaita enough sheika'avid, a phrase that you've heard often in this year at this point over the last number of months, the non-Jew is doing it on their own. They're doing it for themselves, right? They want to do it right now, either to get the work done, either because they want to get paid as early as possible. Whatever they're doing it, though, they're doing it for themselves. Here in this case, he's saying in order to hurry up the process of being able to get paid, which we only get after you've done and completed the job. Yud Gimel, Samuch Lachashecha. This is happening close to dark. on Friday night. As we've talked about in the past, this is the Rambam's cited in the Rambam's name, that not just that they have to take possession of the item, right? Let's say those dry cleaners who come to your door to pick up the dry cleaning. So they don't just have to come into your house and have possession of it before Shabbos starts. And that's a bad example because how long does it take to drag the dry cleaning out the door? But you can think of an example where maybe it's a little more complicated and they have to haul away an appliance, and so there's a little more heavy lifting involved. Takes a little bit of time. So you should ensure that they come in with enough time that they should really get the item out of your house prior to Shabbos start, not just simply that they've taken possession of it. They're dragging it, they're pulling it. They should really be out of off your property by the time Shabbos begins. Okay, again, these are very consistent with the things we've learned in the past, but again, those came up. What we call derech agav. They came up because it was sort of necessary to say those things at that particular juncture. Here, this is really the hub of this halacha is in this simon. Yud Daled im katzatz. If you stipulate and you fix a price, hainu sach yadu v'lo schir yom. Has to be a fixed price, a known price, and you're not a schir yom. You're not working by the day, because then I'm paying you for the work that's being done on Shabbos, and then you're my shaliach. Because I'm paying you whatever I'm paying you for the day anyways. So the more you do for me, it's clearly for me. It's for my benefit only and solely. The ayin simulation of Zion Sifbez, the simon that we learned earlier, that was the one about the mail system. It's been a while, but that was about the mail. So you stipulate that yes, there'll be some sort of pay. And pasheri money, shar is like a compromise, and you're like, okay, I will work out the price. We'll take care of it. But you're gonna get paid, and we'll figure out what the number is. So afal pishalo perish kama yitain lo, even though the price wasn't explicitly stated, no one said how much he'll be getting paid. Dino kekatzatz, that we treat it like you fix the price because we don't know what the number is, but there is a number, and you made stipulation so that it's clear that they're working, they're doing it adaite denafshi, they're doing it for themselves if they want to do it on Shabbos. Uvizman azeh, the Mishnah Berurah says here, in our day, Kalem lekove stama dino kekatzis, and I think this is true not just when the Mishnah Berurah was alive, probably writing this, the turn of the century, into the 20th century. But he said, if you give kalim, you give your clothing to the launderer, just stop. You gave it to them. The halacha is that it's katzah. Same thing. If you walk into why? Because the kitzvaso yadua. That's the price, right? You come in. Sometimes it's even posted in the dry cleaner, right? How much each item is. They don't have to tell you explicitly. When you go to a dry cleaner today, or you go to a laundromat, right, and you drop it, there's a price. Like nobody has any misconceptions about what's going on here. And that's why the minhag is that Jews will, if they need to drop off their laundry, they'll do it on Friday afternoon too. It's not a problem. And I can't say I make it my business to dafka drop off dry clean on Friday afternoon. It's usually the time I have the least amount of time to go and drop something off. But I can certainly say I have dropped off dry cleaning before on Friday, and I have no qualms with it because there's no problem at all. And you see here already, 120 years ago, the Chafetz Chaim seems to record the same practice. Tezvav, Tovas Hana. Right? This idea that it's not no price, but just that they're paying in favors. The non-Jew really would like this to be done for free. He's dafka, this is what they want to do. For you. And we say, bottom line, the reason they're insisting to do it for free is because it's something that you did for them, that they feel that they owe you, or you were so nice to them when it was a moment of need for them, and they want to do you a favor. Val Kain, they're on the page. Val Kain, adaita denaf shekavin, and therefore they're doing it. If they start to suddenly do this, they say, I want to do it, and they want to do it on Shabbos, nonetheless. And I'm like, I don't care, when it's done, it's like they're paying you back. And therefore, it's like money being transferred here. They are paying back their debt, their self-perceived debt. Okay. That way, this stuff happens. I just want to be honest. Like, sometimes people have a certain relationship with a certain business owner, and he said, "No, it's fine. I got it for you." Like, and they insist that they won't take any money from you. And if they, let's say, wanted to go ahead and do whatever work, let's say you had a great relationship with the dry cleaner. It's not my story, by the way, but let's say you had a great relationship with the dry cleaner, and every time you take it in, that you've done other nice things with them, for them, and you kind things for them, or you gave them a nice gift around the holiday season, and then you bring in the dry cleaner. It's okay, don't worry, it's on us. We take care of it. You can assume that the reason they're doing this is because that you've done nice things for them, and they feel indebted to you, and therefore the halacha is that if they want to do that, they're doing it for their own good. That's how they feel like they're paying you back. Tezayin, lasos b'Shabbos. You can't tell them explicitly to do it on Shabbos. V'cheinim amar lekoves. If you say to the launderer, Re'ei shani tzarich lahem b'motzai Shabbos. I need these right after Shabbos is over. Saturday night, I need these ready. Kagon sherotz lisa miyam b'motzai Shabbos. I start telling him a story. I have to go out on a plane Saturday night afterwards. I have to get to the airport. I have to go through customs. It's a whole to do. I'm going to come here, 15, 20 minutes after Shabbos is over, after my Sabbath is over, and I'm going to pick it up. That gamzeh asur afilu katzas. Even if you do katzas, you say, of course, the suit costs $15 to clean or whatever. That is asur to kaven she efshar legomro elayim kenyasa b'Shabbos. Since you're not giving them an opportunity to not do it on Shabbos, it's impossible for them to not actually use Shabbos time to do the job. Right. By the way, also with probably they didn't do. I don't know how much dry cleaning they did in those days. Maybe they did. I'm not an expert in the history of laundromats or dry cleaning. But probably when you're talking about a koves, they had, when they dried something, when they did, laundry and they would dry it, it wasn't they put it in the dryer. They had to have it hang the whole time. So it was quite a process and they would come and they would probably, they would probably, touch it in this way, smooth out the wrinkles, whatever, so it wasn't such a quick, not to say that dry cleaning is a quick process either, whatever they're doing. And I assume they use chemicals when they're doing, they're probably getting stains out. It's all sorts of things that involve actually malacha when you're removing stains. So, it's like saying explicitly, do my laundry on Shabbos, and then it's obvious is, you're literally, they're doing your malacha for you on Shabbos, and you're not allowed to do that. It's Nissa D'Rabbanan, I remind you. It's not Nissa D'Oraisa. Amir L'Nachri is not a Nissa D'Oraisa, but it's a Nissa D'Rabbanan, one that gets a lot of attention in the Gemara, and obviously you see in the Halachas farm as well.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
I had given some stuff to my laundry on Friday. She said, "Well, it'll be done on such and such a day." I said, "Don't. I'm not coming for it that day. I'll come for it either the day after or the day."
Look, if they tell you when it's going to be done, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because that's their own schedule. When they type into the machine, you bring a shirt in, they type it into the machine spits the day out automatically because it's a 2-day cleaning or 3-day cleaning. Right. That's their choice as how long it takes. They give it to you 15 minutes after you bring it in, you'll be happy. But
that's when I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to pick it up the day after.
That's fine. Yud Zayin. Beveso has to be done in the house of the non-Jew. Now this is interesting because this is probably of all the things we talked about once, the idea of a contractor coming in to work on your house on Shabbos. And isn't that the ultimate case of katzatz? You made a deal with the contractor and they have a job to do, right? So can they come in on Saturday to start, hammering the stuff on Saturday? Because at the end of the day, I'm not paying them any extra, and we all know that it always doesn't get done by the deadline anyways. You know that going in. Or they say it'll be done by January 1st, and you can bet your lucky stars it's never going to be done until May or June, right? What?
That's not true.
No,
We
my
did
experience.
a major addition to our house,
And it was done on time.
and our contractor was Israeli, conservative Jew.
And he got it done on time.
And I said to him before we drew the contract, I said, "Listen, you're not working here on Shabbat. Your whole crew is leaving here
Friday
hour
afternoon,
before
right?
Shabbat.
Right.
You know when that starts. If you don't, I'll give you the time. Nobody works here on Shabbat. You don't want to work Sunday, that's your business.
Right.
Okay, not only did he come in on time and on budget, but Friday afternoons, like an hour and a half before shops, he himself was sweeping the floors to make sure my house
You
looked
wanted
good.
to be the
And
midst
when
of
he
covered Shabbos.
walked out, he said Shabbat Shalom. It was amazing. You ever need a
So anybody who's watching on YouTube, Hinda Farber has a good contractor for you.
He's amazing. He was
so-
good. He did Barber wine for his house.
Okay,
That's
there
how
you
I
go.
got him.
Okay, good. So that's not the normal story I always hear.
On time
And that
and
wasn't
on
the
budget.
story I heard in my own from my in-laws. Whatever. Anyways, so beveso. So he says here, road shalom or shalom beveso. Bottom line, you can't be doing work as Hinda insisted from her contractor. You can't do work in my house on Saturday, right? Da'az michze kilu hu oseh b'shlichus here. Not that you're actually doing my shlichus, right? I actually made a deal that whenever it's done, I pay you. But it looks anybody who's watching this, or even to yourself, it feels wrong. But it looks like you're just doing my work for me on a Saturday. If you're doing, and it's not just even working on the house, but let's say you come in and you start doing work on my lawn on Saturdays. I didn't tell you to come in on Saturdays, but you chose to. Don't come on Saturdays. You tell you insist on your landscaper, please don't come on Saturdays, right? Because it looks like you're doing you're being my shaliach. The cost of the Chai Adam. Okay, so here's a family minhag right now for Hinta. The Beveis Yisrael Asra Afilu Im Davar Shamina Kol Bnei Eir Litna Bekablanus. Even if it's normal that people come in and they do this work in your house, so no one is going. They see that you're doing X, Y, and Z on the lawn, and everybody. That's how it's done because you're not schlepping it back to the shop or to whatever. I don't know. I can't think of a good example, but everyone knows that when they see this person, they're not going to assume that you're doing something so terrible because that's how it's normally done. Big kablonis, which means an arrangement of I pay you for the job, not for the hour. No one's going to suspect that you are hiring a schir yom, a worker for the day. Gam kein osur mitamse. It is also prohibited for this reason. Because at the end of the day, it looks like you're telling them to do it, to do this on Shabbos, right? And that's not right. And so what Hindu was saying, Shabbos, time to take a break, and you'll come back if you want on Sunday, you don't have to do the job. But maybe that's why. So if I was an Amora, which I'm not, and I was writing some, Rabbi in the Gemara, if I was writing some Agadita, after this halacha quote in the Gemara, I would quote Hindu's story, by the way. That what happened? The Baal Sabayis insisted that there was no work done on Shabbos. And look, they came in under budget and on time. And you see that if you follow the halacha, good things happen. That's what I would do if I was writing the Gemara.
Factored into the budget, though, I must say.
Factored in the budget. Okay. The budget, okay. But it came in on time. It came in on time. Okay. Very good. So whatever. Again, we have the landscaper is the one that comes to mind most often as the problematic one. I try to remember if I can before holidays, which will fall out during the weekdays. In my experience, that landscaper doesn't come on Saturday. I see them on Saturday at other places, so they could very well, depending on whatever deal you make with them. But the landscaper who does my yard is associated with the shul, so I think they know that not to come on Saturdays. But sometimes they've forgotten on holidays. I'll come back after shul in the morning and I'll see, oh, what a freshly cut grass, because it was a Monday, it was a Tuesday. So I try to remember to remind them not to come on a holiday. If you can remember that, and tell them ahead of time, it's better. Okay, Yud Ches.
You have the phone number, so you can call them.
Right. So say if you remember before the holiday, you could try to ask them to try to arrange their schedule a little different.
Like Erev Pesach, there's nothing else to remember.
Right, exactly. At least this Pesach, it's a Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay. The Ramah here,
Not the 7 days.
the 7 days, Friday, Saturday. Yeah. You got the last days, you're right. The Ramah here says, actually, before we get to Yud Ches, the Ramah writes, "V'im lo katzatz," if you don't fix a price, you don't come to a fixed price agreement, also Erev Shabbos, then it would be prohibited to drop off the item, whatever it is, the dry cleaning, the whatever the name of malacha, it would be prohibited to drop it off on Erev Shabbos. Take a look quickly now at Yud Ches and then Yud Tes, and then we'll go back in the Ramah in a second. V'im lo katzatz, hayna shelo hisna im. You don't stipulate that you're going to pay the person. and the non-Jew is waiting potentially for the pay, for pay. Like they don't know, am I going to get paid? Am I not going to get paid? So since they don't know, so usher, it's now prohibited. Why? Because the law they're not necessarily doing it for themselves, so they don't know for sure that they're even going to get paid. They just agreed to do something for you. Nobody said anything about getting paid. It's not the normal situation here of like, look on the sign, it says how much you pay me for this. Again, these are not arrangements we have typically in the business world today, in our day and age, which is why sometimes I find it hard to understand this, but I think that probably arrangements were different in a different era. And so therefore, since he did not promise him explicitly that he was going to pay him, and he said, can you do X, Y, or Z? And this person went ahead and did it, maybe thinking in their mind, maybe I'll get paid, but also maybe I might not get paid. Maybe they're just saying, oh, please do this for me. And therefore, they're not truly doing it only for themselves. They're maybe doing it partly for me, because part of them thinks they might not get paid. Okay. Yud Tes, Erev Shabbos. Dikashanosno lo be'erev Shabbos. When I give it to them on Erev Shabbos, and there's been no fixed price deal that's been made, michze ki'ilu nosno lo almanas sheyasa b'Shabbos. It looks like that I am giving it to them in order for them to do it on Shabbos. Otherwise, why would I give it to them on Friday? I didn't even say oh, I'll fix the price and whenever it's ready, it's ready. Sounds like I'm giving it to you right now so that you should do it now, right? And the fact that we didn't make a price means I'm asking you for a favor almost, and do this now. What, are you going to hold on to it until Monday? Why would I give it to you on Monday then? That's usually how favors work. I'll ask you, can you do me a favor? Now, sometimes the understanding of the favor is it can't be done immediately because of the nature of the favor. But if it's something that could start to be done soon, then I'm giving it to you on Friday, in the afternoon. What else did you think I was going to do? What else did you think I was asking? But if they're in the same situation, I just simply had said, here, I'll pay you $20 to dry clean my suit. Then they're doing it for themselves because they're choosing when to do it. So lo michse ki'ilu omer lo kain. Then it's and it doesn't appear like I'm asking you to do it on Shabbos. The kosva poskim, the kishiyesh shehus l'gomer b'od yom. The poskim write that if there is enough time when I give it to them on Friday to do it on Friday, because again, the assumption is do the favor as soon as possible, right? But if there's enough time to do it on Friday, then mutter afilu be'erev Shabbos. Then if I give it Friday morning and the task takes 30 minutes to complete, and then they choose at that point to do it on Shabbos, so okay, that was a little bit their choice. I can't give it to them on Friday because that was my preference. So vafilu low katzatz, even if there's no stipulation or fixed price, l'kulei alma, everyone agrees that would be okay. Uma shediyek harama be'erev Shabbos, and the fact that the Rama dafka picks Erev Shabbos instead of saying the Ravi v'chamishi, Wednesday and Thursday, which from the past, Simanim, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday often were a grouping of when things happen on Erev Shabbos. Shu muflag ben Shabbos, Wednesday and Thursday, those are really far away from Shabbos. They're separated, muflag ben Shabbos. So mutar litein lo afilu she'en yachol legomar kodem Shabbos. Then it's okay to even give it to them Wednesday or Thursday, even though they're gonna, they can't finish it before Shabbos. This is like a multi-day favor. If I give you something on Wednesday and I know that you can't actually finish, you cannot finish it before the earliest you can finish whatever the favor is really, legitimately is Saturday. Then okay, then at that point I think the presumption is the favor I'm asking you is, relatively a large favor. And okay, at that point, it's already a multi-day favor. So Saturday, Sunday, it's hard to sometimes predict, exactly when it can get done. And you have other things in your life. You probably can't do everything, can't drop everything for this. So that's separated enough from Shabbos that we will say, since you didn't say explicitly do it on Shabbos, it doesn't look like I'm saying do it on Shabbos. When I give it to you Friday afternoon, that looks like I'm saying do this on Shabbos. But if I give it to you Wednesday, Thursday, even though I know you can't complete the task until Shabbos, that's a different story. Okay. Back in the Ramah. V'ayin la'el siman reish mem zayin. Says, see what we wrote earlier in siman reish mem zayin. The yesh cholkin, that there are those who disagree about the situation of chinam, of being done free. For the he says here the im osalo bechinam dahainu betovas hana. If you're just doing it for the favor aspect, some disagree and say that that's not a good enough svara, reason to consider it like katsatz, that it's like we fixed the price. Why not? And we saw, by the way, over there, I went to double check that the Ramah over there says tov lahachmir. Says good to be machmir. And here, as the Mishnah Berurah wrote over there, he says that here he quotes it as a yesh cholkin. And by the way, very important. That's why it's good to always prepare, not just using Shulchan Aruch and Ramah. The Ramah in his previous work, the Darkei Moshe, which he wrote as a side commentary to the Beis Yosef, the Shulchan Aruch's previous work. There he writes explicitly that he follows this opinion of the Yesh Cholkin, and not just as he writes in the other siman, where he says Tov lahachmir, nice to be machmir. There he says in the Darkei Moshe, he seems to say that you should follow the second opinion, which is here this Yesh Cholkin, that don't rely on Tovas Hana as a good svara to say that it counts as katzatz. Let's see why not. Chaf and Chaf Aleph. Mishnah Berurah says, the halacha that we compare this to a situation of not fixing and not stipulating the price. And therefore, the person is doing it on behalf of the Jew. Also, Erev Shabbos, and on Erev Shabbos, that's not something you can ask them to do. He makes this point here also. The Darkei Moshe, that again, the Rav Moshe Isserlis's work before the Ramah, he writes the maskim, the yesh cholkim. He follows the opinion of the yesh cholkim that's quoted here. Which is what I just quoted to you before, which is in the previous siman that he discussed this. He said tov lahachmir, good to be machmir, and the Mishnah Berurah pointed out there the same point that he says, go to see what it says in Reish Mem Beis, where he says yesh cholkim, and that's the halacha. Now we finally got there. I told you, I promised you a few months we'll get there. Here's the moment. So I followed through on my promise, and now we made it. Okay. Chaf Aleph, b'chinam, that it's free. Why is it free? Is not that the favor is not good enough. The im lo sha'ena yehudi bi'atzmo maschili ma'yisrael lo mar sheyaseh lo b'chinam. As v'alei dato al hatova shekiba menu mikvar v'dilo kikotzatz. He says if the non-Jew on their own starts up with the Jew, right? They say, oh, can I do this for you, whatever the job is, right? And I'll do it for free. It's on the house. I got this. Then for sure that's even Ramah would agree that is okay. Because they're clearly, the way they're starting up this conversation with you, that they want to do something for free, shows their mindset is clearly that they want to pay back a favor. But when somebody starts up with you that do something for free, when they normally don't do it for free, that's clearly they want to do you a favor. The case where the Ramah disagrees is if you drop your thing off, you're, either A, you're calling in a favor, that's for sure. I don't know. That's like, then the non-Jew is like, okay, calling in a favor on me. But even if, let's say you start up with a non-Jew and you go over to them and can I have this, that X, Y, and Z? And the person is sure, on the house. But the whole situation started because I brought the item in to be fixed or to be repaired. If they come over to me and they start handling me, can I do this for you? Can I do that for you? Then they're clearly looking for a way to pay back a favor. But if I start up with them and they say, oh, I'll do it for free, the Ramah's like, I don't know. Then it's, yes, maybe they're paying back a favor. Maybe there's some other calculation in their head. And, it's less clear what their intentions are. The intentions are very clear when they start up with you. Okay, let's finish up the siman here. The Shulchan Aruch. Let's go back to the Shulchan Aruch. The imra'ohu ose melachta v'shabbos im haya ose b'tovas hana. If you suddenly you're walking into shul on Shabbos, you pass by this person's shop, and they were doing you a favor. And again, we're working in the Shulchan Aruch world of favor, which was any kind of situation, right? They're doing it for free, and that you've done nice things for them, and they insist to do something for you. You see them suddenly doing work, and it's on the basis of tovas hana, of a goodwill favor. So you need to tell them, please don't do this on Shabbos. I didn't tell you when you took it from me and you said you'll do it for free. Okay, I said fine. That's so nice of you, sweet of you. Now that I see you're actually doing the work on Shabbos, if I don't know what I don't know doesn't, ignorance is bliss in this situation. If I don't know, I don't have to make assumptions that they're doing work on Shabbos. I don't have to check up on them. It's not my problem. But if I walk into shul and on my route to shul, I happen to pass by the person who I literally dropped off something to be repaired, and they said, "Oh, it's okay. I'll do it as a favor." And I see them in the window. I have to knock on the window and say, please stop. At least don't do it on Shabbos. And he says to the Ramah, even adds, I feel even the son of lo kama yom lifnei Shabbos. Even if, let's say, I gave it to them on Wednesday on a favor, and I walk by and I see them doing my X, Y, and Z product, they're fixing. Okay, please stop. Don't do it on Saturday. That's my day of holy rest. And if you want to do it tomorrow, it's fine. Any day, I'll pick it up whenever you're ready. Just please don't do the work actually today.
Yeah, but
Now,
if you dropped it off on Wednesday, it's his choice to do it on Shabbos. Why is that an issue?
So this is interesting because I would have expected may make a little bit of sense. The Ramah, because the Ramah says favors, unless they are the ones who are begging me to do the favor, the Ramah says that we don't treat that like katzatz. And yes, well, we did say also that if I drop it off Wednesday or Thursday in any situation, it's okay.
But you budget his
time.
His work.
I hear you.
That he wants.
And
Let's read the Mishnah.
One way or the other, you violate. It looks like you're violating. So what you just said, if you do something on the Shabbos.
Yeah. So let's see. So let me read the Mishnah. Let's read the Mishnah, bro. See if that'll help us here. You see this person doing the work on Shabbos. Even though the Mechaber was lenient about this situation above. We can give the person based on the basis of a favor on Friday. And you don't have to worry about what they're doing on Shabbos. Even if you know they're going to do it on Shabbos. Since you're not commanding them, okay, whatever. And they're doing it because that's what they want to do. We said in the previous sim that we discussed this. But if you come to their place of work and you see they're actually doing your item right now, so it looks like, and I don't know if everyone's gonna love this explanation, but it looks like they are doing it for you, the midaite, they're doing it on your behalf, since they're not getting any pay, literal cash in this situation, they're doing it based on a favor. And so there's a maybe a hint of a yucky feeling that like here they are doing this thing for free for you and they're doing the work on Shabbos. It looks like they're doing it for you, right? Even though they are doing it for themselves to get rid of that debt that they feel like is hanging over themselves. So you should tell them, please don't do it on Shabbos. Obviously, if you worked out a payment structure, right? After all, perish even if you didn't talk about how much it is, that there's money involved, right? Money talks here, and money will get them to be doing that for themselves, not for you. You start to see them doing work on Shabbos, even if you walk by and they're literally, you walk by the car repair shop, and there they are. You see in the garage, they're working on yours. It says, Mashiach now on the back of it, and it's clear as daylight. So okay, but that's not because I know when I walk into the store, it says oil change is $24.99, and the air filtration system, another whatever. Okay, we made a deal. I don't know. You want to do it on Saturday? You want to do it Saturday? Not my problem. The avidite he's doing it for his own benefit. Chaf Gimel Kama Yamim. So even if it's a few days before Shabbos, right? Obviously, giving it to them on Wednesday, Thursday, no problem. Everyone agrees. That's okay, no matter the situation. Even the Chanis Karel, as we said before. But if you see them actually doing the work on Shabbos, you should ask them to please stop. I think it's for the same reason we just said before, because it looks like they're doing it, on your behalf. Again, not in the case where you made a deal. That's different, right? If it's just based on Tobas Hana, it looks like they're doing it and they're not getting paid, and so it feels like they're doing it for you. Looks like they're not actually. Mechze, looks like. That word is going to rear its ugly head in Reish Nun Gimel when it comes to cooking. It's the biggest problem that we have when it comes to cooking, heating things up on Shabbos. It's mechze k'mevashel. Why can't you heat things up in the oven, straight up in the oven on Saturday? Even if you leave it on from beforehand, because it looks like you're cooking. What do you mean? I'm not cooking. Looks like it though. Looks like is a big problem when it comes to Shabbos. So here, this word also appears here. So mechze looks like it. Okay. So he says here, if the non-Jew is a sker yom with you, he gets paid by the day during the week. And now he wants to do his malacha in his house. He wants to take his work back to his house quietly, in private, so nobody sees, you don't see, nothing's seen. Sorry, if I know about it, Schir Yom is much more serious because then it's really your shaliach. So then Tzarech Limchos, Tzarech Lelech Melimchos Biyado Kevin Shenodalo. Since I know, right? Ignorance is bliss, but now I know, so I have to go and so you can't. You're actually my shaliach. You're getting paid by the day. The more you do on the day, the more it just accrues as benefit straight to me. So Afal Pisha Ein Oseh Lefanav, even though he's not doing it in front of me, not in my house, not in the front of the store, he's doing it in the back of the store. But if I know he's doing it, I have to go in there and say something. So cost of now again, I don't know how often that ever really comes up. Cost of Magen Avraham. The Magen Avraham writes, the Mitzvah le'eno Yehudi lasas lamin olim v'ra'o oseh b'Shabbos. Now this does happen. Let's say you say to a non-Jew, I would like shoes. Can you make me shoes? Or you name it. You go to the dressmaker, and here's the material. Make a dress for me, right? Yeah. I lost my spot. Sorry. Here we go. I feel low cuts. Even if I low cuts, I don't say like how much I'm going to pay, or I don't know who's really agreeing to do this without getting paid, without some sort of understanding of getting paid. But okay, let's work with that assumption. Ein sarach limchos biyad. You don't have to start to protest when you see them doing the work on Shabbos. The hakati lo nikra shein Yisrael, because you know why? The shoes they're not yours yet. You said you commissioned. Please make me shoes. And look what he says here. He says, if the non-Jew then decides, actually, I'll unload these. Somebody wants them today, and I'll make a new pair for you. They were never mine. It's different if I give you my item to fix or to repair or to clean. Right. But this was, I commissioned an item. That's okay, because at the end of the day, they could still sell it to somebody else until I take possession of it. But in Cain, and therefore he's not truly doing it for me. He's doing it to have the item so he can sell to whomever, and it turns out to be me, great, but it could be somebody else, and therefore it's not only within me in mind that he makes the shoes.
Is that like
that would be different if you supplied him with the leather, or you gave the dressmaker the fabric.
Right.
It belongs to you already. So
correct. Sorry, you're right. If you give them a material, correct. If you say make me this, and they use their own material, correct. Sorry, thank you. Correct. If let's say I may say make shoes, and they get the leather and they do whatever, then it's my leather. Then they're not allowed to sell my leather to somebody else. That's correct. So this situation that's being described here is I asked them to make it. They use their own materials, and I'm buying the entire product and probably paying for the labor at the end of this. But we never discussed that price beforehand. If we discuss it, so then to talk about, then it's like, okay, I would like you to make me a suit, a pair of shoes, and I'll pick it up whenever. That's different. But even if I don't say that, I just say, make me shoes, please, and we don't come to an agreement about price or whatever, and they now they're not sure, am I going to get paid? Am I not going to get paid? Then it would still be okay. The svara is the most interesting. The practical ramifications is probably not relevant because I'm not sure I would venture to say no one would agree to do such a thing for you without telling you some approximate value of what they're going to ask for, or that there is some understanding they are going to get paid. They're not doing this just for free. Okay.